How are you? I'm fine, thanks. We've all said it. We've all heard it. And almost none of us mean it fully. We're tired. We're distracted. We're carrying something we don't want to talk about. But fine is the social default. The expected answer. The smallest possible lie. And here's the thing. We tell that lie, and several like it, every single day. In a study from 2002, researchers asked college students to keep a diary of every social interaction for a week. The result averaged across hundreds of participants was 1 to 2 lies per day. Not big ones. Not malicious ones. But lies nonetheless. Misleading answers. Strategic omissions. Tiny social fabrications that grease the wheels of daily life. And the most honest people in the study? They still lied, on average, once a day. The least honest? Up to 10 times a day. Lying isn't a moral failing. It's a feature. Let's talk about white lies. I love your cooking. That looks great on you. Sorry, I'm running late, traffic was terrible. Most of us tell several of these a day. And the science suggests they serve a real function. They're social glue. They smooth over frictions that would otherwise turn into conflicts. They protect other people's feelings. They preserve relationships. A 2010 study found that people who never tell white lies are perceived as less trustworthy, not more. The honesty spectrum isn't a straight line. There's a sweet spot accurate enough to be trusted, gentle enough to be kind. Now here's the strange part. The lies we tell other people are, on average, less frequent than the lies we tell ourselves. Self-deception is a different beast. It's unconscious. You don't know you're doing it. You genuinely believe the story you're telling about why you're late, about why you didn't get the job, about why the relationship ended. The brain's chief strategist, the prefrontal cortex, manufactures explanations after the fact. And the more often you repeat those explanations, the more real they feel. Self-deception isn't a choice. It's an automatic process. And it's running in the background, almost always. Lying is metabolically expensive. That's a finding from cognitive neuroscience. When you're being deceptive, your brain lights up. The prefrontal cortex works overtime. The anterior cingulate, the brain's error monitor, fires hard. Studies using fMRI show that sustained deception measurably increases glucose consumption in the brain. It's tiring. Anyone who's ever kept a story straight for hours knows this intuitively. The mental load is real. Which is one reason liars often confess, not from guilt, but from exhaustion. And then there's the small percentage of people, about 1% of the population, for whom lying is the default mode. Pathological liars. Yang and colleagues, in a study published around 2005, found something striking. Pathological liars have, on average, 22% more white matter in their prefrontal cortex than non-liars. Their brains are built differently. Lying is easier for them. Not because they're immoral. Because the cognitive cost is lower. It's a neurological variant, not a character flaw. Most of us can't sustain lying for long. They can. Why are we built this way? Because lying is as old as language. And probably older. Primates deceive each other constantly, concealing food, feigning alarm calls to scare competitors away from a feeding site, presenting false sexual signals. Deception is an evolutionary strategy. It works. The ability to mislead a predator, a rival, or a mate has been selected for, across millions of years, in social species. Your capacity for lying isn't a bug in human nature. It's a feature of animal cognition. We're just very good at it. What about detection? Surely we can spot a lie. Surely there are tells, the averted eyes, the fidgeting, the shifted posture. Actually, no. The body language detection industry is, by and large, a fraud. Meta-analyses, large studies pooling results from many smaller experiments, consistently find that untrained humans spot lies at roughly chance. 54% accuracy. Just slightly better than a coin flip. The only modestly reliable signal? Cognitive load. The longer it takes someone to answer a question, the more likely they're constructing rather than recalling. But even that signal is weak. We're bad at detecting lies. We've always been. Here's what the research does show clearly. The pattern of your lies reveals something. People who lie mostly to protect others tend to be high in agreeableness. People who lie to impress tend to be high in narcissism. People who lie to avoid conflict tend to be high in anxiety. People who lie to themselves about their own role in failures tend toward low self-awareness. Your lies are a fingerprint. They point back to what you most fear, what you most want, and what you most want other people to think. So lying is universal, ancient, metabolically expensive, neurologically varied, and remarkably hard to detect. It's not going away. But the question isn't whether you lie. You do. The question is what your lying pattern says about you. Honesty, as a practice, isn't the absence of lies. It's the slow, deliberate process of making your words match the truth,